Hey Truth Seekers, welcome back, Zach here. Today is October 9th, 2015. I did a video 10 days ago talking about the 10-day theory and how President Obama might be assassinated on October 19th. When I made that video, I was not aware of what I'm about to present. There is a movie that came out in 2006 called Death of a President, and that film is about George W. Bush being assassinated in Chicago, Illinois. And this film was made while George W. Bush was the president. What stands out to me is the date he's killed on and the location. Notice he is killed October 19th, 2007, 8 years ago today, and in Chicago, Illinois. At that time in history, Barack Obama was running for president and hailing from Chicago. What are the odds? The date in the film that George W. Bush is assassinated, October 19th, 2007, is an interesting date. It has numerology of 56, matching the gematria of the word president in Pythagorean with the S exception. S can be 1 or 10. It's also a date with 38 numerology, and the word death has gematria of 38. Of course, the movie's called Death of a President, so the two key words in that phrase, the gematria syncs up. The phrase death of a president in simple English gematria sums to 170, as does the phrase World War III. And Truth Seeker, what I am trying to expose on this blog is that the world is run by madmen who are hell-bent on war and creating war through hoax largely, or false flag, if you would rather put it that way. There have been many examples of this throughout history. The most recent one in this nation is September 11th, which happened while George W. Bush was the president. And the assassination of a U.S. president, if blamed on the right source, could be a trigger for World War III, have no doubt. The phrase death of a president in Pythagorean gematria sums to 80, and with the S exception, 89. In the film, this is shown on the screen just before George W. Bush gets shot. This is the last time and location put up on the screen, 8:09 p.m., a lot like 89, in the West Lobby on the date of October 19th, 2007. West Lobby has gematria of 33 and 42 Pythagorean, and the big way, 123, identical to the word conspiracy. With regards to 89 and 80, they also have some interesting gematria. 116, 89 sums out to, and 116 is 911 upside down. Again, we're pulling that from the title of the film. 80 is also an interesting number. When written out, it has gematria of 74, and 74 is one of these numbers often associated with martyrdom. Jesus and cross equals 74. It's also the reflection of 47, one of the numbers going with president. The main producers of the film, Gabriel Range and Simon Finch, have very interesting name gematria. Simon Finch is 110, just like the word president in simple English gematria. We're talking about the movie Death of a President. Gabriel Range sums to 99, just like the word patriot. And this movie is largely centered around the Patriot Act. George W. Bush's assassin kills him in part because of the Patriot Act, and at the end of the film, after George W. Bush is assassinated, there's dialogue from Dick Cheney saying why they have now made the Patriot Act permanent law, which is pretty much what has happened in this nation in real life. Also notice that this film runs 93 minutes. 93, a very interesting number. The word propaganda has gematria of 93. It's also an occult number associated with sacrifice through the religion Thelema. The word Saturn has gematria of 93. A lot of occult religions worship Saturn. Interesting numbers on this film. Let's just read this little blurb from the movie. Broadcast in the year 2008, the film is presented in a TV documentary-style format, combining talking head interviews, news coverage clips, and video surveillance footage surrounding the assassination of U.S. President George W. Bush in Chicago around a year earlier on October 19th, 2007. The president is fatally shot by a sniper after he addresses an economic forum at the Chicago Sheraton Hotel, before which an anti-war rally had taken place. News outlets immediately begin reporting on the incident along with its political ramifications. After authorities earlier arrest and interrogate war protesting detainees, Jamal Abu Zikri, an IT professional of Syrian origin, becomes the prime suspect. And what's interesting here is that he's Syrian. It seems that World War III will have very much to do with Syria, and again, the title of the film connects back to World War III, as we mentioned just a moment ago. Death of a president. So with regards to the location of Sheraton Hotel, it's interesting. Sheraton has gematria of 37, and with the S exception 46. This is like how Chicago's Pythagorean 37, and with simple English gematria of 46. Sheraton Hotel creates the gematria of 61, the God number in Jewish gematria, also 70, and when you write out 70 in Summit, it sums to 110, like president. These movies are coded just like history, because the same people who make the movies are the same people who write history at this day and age. They are the Zionists and the Masons. Also, with regards to all of that 61 Truth Seeker, Sheraton Hotel summing to 61, Obama's born in 61, and this year on April 15th, 2015, Obama got that story all coded out with 61. Message delivered. A 61-year-old man, a mail carrier, and a gyrocopter delivered some letter to the president. The man was 61 years old. Gyrocopter has Pythagorean gematria of 61. In simple English, gyrocopter sums to 142, just like President Obama. And the pilot's name was Doug Hughes, which also has gematria of 61. Also, Obama's the 44th president. The 44th day of the year is called Lupercalia, which has gematria of 44. This incident came 61 days after Lupercalia, the 44th day of the year, for the 44th president. Without the other stories this year with 61 have been the story about Cecil the Lion. Cecil the Lion has gematria of 61. That story came out while Obama was on his African tour. Obama's also joked that he is the main character from The Lion King. The Lion King has gematria of 61. So, possibly a coincidence, possibly not. Possibly all coding for what is to come. The other thing is this man in the film of Syrian origin who's thought to be the assassin, that name Zikri has a gematria of 73, just like the word sacrifice. And October 19th, the day that Bush is assassinated in the movie, is the day that leaves 73 days in the year. Obama, who's born August 4th, 61, this is a date with numerology of 73. 8 plus 4 plus 61. So from the film, if you read about it, you see that it had a lot to do with the Patriot Act, the assassin, and why Bush was assassinated in the film. It turns out it's an older man who's the assassin who lost his son in the Iraq War and who's upset about the United States spying. And at this time, a lot of people are suspecting that if the president is assassinated, they'll blame it on a domestic terrorist or a civilian who's upset with Obama's presidency in the way, or for the purpose of labeling, a certain sect of society and changing laws and liberties for those citizens. So many people think there will be major gun reform. I am one of them. I don't think people are coming for your guns, but I think that gun reform, gun laws, I think they are due to change. The assassin, he's from Rock Island, Illinois. Rock Island is interesting because it has gematria of 43. George W. Bush was the 43rd president. It also has gematria of 106, the number of prophecy, a number we're seeing a lot these days. And with regards to Chicago in 2007, which is when Bush gets assassinated in this movie, October 19th, 2007. Around this same time in real history, on November 22nd, 2007, this story came out from ABC News that John F. Kennedy was nearly assassinated 3 weeks earlier on November 2nd at Soldier Field in Chicago. JFK was the 44th term president. This came out 44 years after he was assassinated, while Obama was running to be the 44th president, largely in Chicago. So these are the hints the media's been dropping. With regards to Soldier Field, where Kennedy was supposedly nearly killed at, it has gematria of 118, just like the word death in Jewish gematria. And we're talking about the death of a president. So that's the updated information, Truth Seeker. Until next time.